Hello everyone, my name is Uthris and welcome to Kerbal Space Program. Last episode we did 2 trips to the moon and back simply as a good test, kind of see the capabilities of our current rocket technology. This episode though, I might be going somewhere else. We don't have the ability to really land on the moon yet. We still need a lander module that can attach to this. Now granted, I could probably modify this whole upper stage to be a lander. Land and come back with it. So that is an option to do that. Or we can get science elsewhere and bring that back and then build just an attached lander that this will just carry up to the moon. So I kind of want to go that route because we've been going to the moon so much that I think it would be cool to go to Minmus. It is the smaller body circling Kerbal. It's also technically easier to land on. There's less gravity there, but I don't want to land there. I just simply want to do a close orbit and come back. Now it is farther than the other one, so we are probably going to have to change up our rocket design a bit. And basically, the only thing that I can think of that will help us is the simple, easy solution of more engines. So we're going to add 2 solid rocket boosters to this. And the reason being, it's kind of the easiest way to get a whole bunch of thrust without having to think about it too much, right? So if we do this, we're going to be able to get a whole bunch of lifting power for not much cost at all. So these 2 rockets will fire with our other ones and then hopefully separate early, and then we'll be able to use all of our liquid fuel a little bit higher than before and then essentially get to Minmus. Now when it comes to the Minmus flight plan or path, it's been so long since I've been there that really I don't know when you should take off. I know it is farther from us than the moon. So what I'll probably do is take off. The moon we can take off on the horizon. Minmus I'm gonna go probably 15-30 degrees back from the horizon. That'll give us time to catch up to it and hopefully get into an orbit. I don't know. Minmus is a pretty cool place. It's just a cool little moon. I like it. It has cool coloration too. So let us go ahead and just start this episode without building anything. We're basically there. So we're gonna go ahead and use the Moon Explorer MK2. Just modify it with some more lifting engines. So we'll come out here to the launch pad. Oh, there is one thing that I do want to add. So let me revert flight to vehicle assembly. This is going to be to add struts. We noticed the last couple flights, it does like to wobble a little bit. And that is something we can't really have in the long run. So let's just get some struts here. And hopefully that will be fixed. Cool. Okay. That will prevent as much wobble and hopefully we'll have some more stability in the air. Okay. Only change really needed, I think. We're going to have full thrust on the solid rocket boosters. They're going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting here at the beginning. And then our liquid, we'll probably start at half thrust just to help us get off the ground. And we'll go from there. So here we go in 3, 2, 1, launch. So that's pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and just throttle down to 1/4 and just let these 2 basically run out of fuel wherever they may. And then we'll throttle the other side tanks to full. I didn't look at the I didn't look at the moon. I'm getting ahead of myself when I play this game. I'm just so excited to launch rockets that I'm not even looking to see where the moon... It happened to be kind of where I wanted it. Well, welcome to Launch 2.0. We are going to that moon. It is actually, if we look this way, it is to our right and slightly to the left, so... Ooh, wow, I forgot to turn SAS on. That's a mistake. Alright. There we go. My bad. About started just falling out of the sky there. So it's on about a 5 to 6 degree incline from Kerbin, which is a little bit different than the moon. The moon we can go almost full, just sideways, 90 degrees, but this one is different. So there goes those. And now, I'm just gonna go ahead and hopefully get this angle right. Not quite sure. I will. And it's far more steady now with these struts. Look at that, guys. It's not even wiggling. Alright, so that right there is Minmus. I can see it, which is good. Seeing is believing, as they say. And I'm just gonna wait a second. There we go. So you can see our thrust is a little bit south of the 90 degree line, and that is adjusting. Our thrust here. You know what? I actually probably could have let Minmus be more around here. This is probably taking off a little too soon. But that's fine. Let's just go completely sideways, get as much speed now as possible out. Probably could have turned sideways way sooner than before, but that's okay. We'll get there. So ascending node, descending node. You can see negative 2.3 degrees. So we are off still. So I'm gonna adjust my pitch here and get that to say more 0 or closer to 0. It's kind of never going to say 0. Seven degrees is kind of the min there. So let's keep accelerating. Just push that out. I don't think this is gonna make it, to be honest. I mean, granted, you kind of never know, but I have little hopes. It might really just be better to do a classic moon assist here to get out to Minmus. Oh well, nope. It accelerates real quick once it gets out that far, doesn't it? Wow. So Minmus doesn't even move. So we're out there with a Minmus approach. Granted, based on this is kind of the closest we will ever get to it. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna sit in orbit for a little bit and just watch as Minmus kind of naturally gets closer. We're just gonna spend a few weeks in space. One thing that will need to happen is that the moon, we're kind of not... Oh, come on. Where's my Kerbal periapse here? I want to make sure I don't fall back into Kerbal, is essentially what I'm trying to do here. There we go. Okay, so at this point we are kind of stuck. So we're just gonna do a couple laps around and just wait for the moon to come back to us. So you can see it chunks. So now when we're up here, its closest approach is over here. It'll probably jump over to the opposite side. Oh no, we're gonna get captured by the moon. We are gonna get captured by the moon. That is not really what I want to happen. It's interesting. So hold on, let's see if we can't change this a bit. We might be able to use the moon in our favor. We might be able to. Okay, so add maneuver. So we need to go up. And then over. Okay. And closer. Ooh. It's pretty good. Go up. Closer. Ah! Minmus. So that 2-second burn there is whew, basically that. Okay, so we're gonna tell this to point to our signal. And 2 seconds is basically nothing. We still have plenty of fuel here. So we're gonna go back towards Kerbin. All right. Now back towards the moon. And you can see we end up using the moon anyways. All right, and thrust. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of this. All right. So at this point, we'll go to the Apoapis and adjust it from there. See how close we can get it. Because I do want to get a little close, you know. We don't want to go to Minmus and not be able to see it. That's kind of boring. So that's 300. And that is 247,000 meters. And now the Minmus is also smaller than the moon, which is a factor. So 450,000 meters, I think, is fine. All right, we're 17 days out from that. It's a much farther of a journey to Minmus. And especially when you start faffing about by going in and out, in and out, in and out. Again, last episode I kind of mentioned the food, water kind of mod. That would basically make what I'm doing right now not feasible. Just not feasible at all. It's almost been 2 months in space for Valentina right now, so. Am I doing this efficiently? No. But do I claim to be good at this game? Sometimes. Sometimes I do. To my own dismay. Come on. There we go. Alright. So now, we will approach Minmus, guys. At 137,000 meters is going to be our distance. I think that's it. Right there. Wow. So that's Minmus. So you can see it's pretty cool looking. It's a little bit more gray. It's got ice lakes on it, which is kind of cool. The moon does not have anything like that for sure. And it actually makes it kind of easy to land on because it's pretty flat in those areas. And the gravity also, of course, makes it easier to land on as well. So we are pretty high above, but we're going to go ahead and observe Materials Bay. So we're going to bring home 62 science. We're going to take a crew report after a month. I'm going to open this. Observe the goo. 25. Pressure data, 30. Temperature data, 20. That's good. Now we can close these. And basically the remaining fuel that we have, we will just go ahead and return home. I think Valentina is basically done with space right now. Been out here for way too long. So unlike last episode, I'm gonna try and get our periapts down to probably 45,000. That'll probably be better. It'll hopefully stop us a lot quicker. There we go. Than last time too. So at this point we will stage as preparation. Continue to point retrograde. And watch as we go away from Minmus in our screen. And that slowly transitions into Kerbin, getting closer and closer with the moon going around as well. Shoot, did I go too far? Yeah, so sometimes, by the way, if you do a time acceleration, what will happen is that this little bend, your final little one around the planet, can go bad because what will happen is you'll go through it and it'll lower your periapts, but yeah, this is not gonna go well. Shoot, I should have been able to slow down a lot more. Oh, darn you, physics and time warp, killing me here. All right, so this is bad. Our periapts went from 45,000 to 25,000. So it's gonna be a hot approach. Very hot, probably. There goes the landing gear. And in fact, the heat shield here... Where are we? The heat shield isn't necessarily attached to us right now. It's more or less through the forces of air resistance and gravity and acceleration stuck to the bottom of our can, which is actually good. Because without this thing here, I think this whole upper canister would be burning away right now. But it happens to be in the way, and somewhat effective still. That's funny. So we lost the science bay. I was afraid of that. The science bay is always a little finicky. The heat shield is slowly sliding off of us. And as we start getting out of this really hot atmosphere, What will happen is just the resistance of the thicker areas and us slowing down, and I'll probably turn off SAS just so we can tumble for a second. There we go. Yeah. Drill chute deployed. And we're gonna go off the coast here. And I'll go ahead and deploy that chute as well. If we need more, I'll deploy the whole rest of them, but I doubt it. We're pretty light like this. And 1,000 meters, so go from 40 to about 6 or so. So that's really fine. 7 meters a second is kind of your limitations when it comes to landing. So we have made it to Minmus. We kind of lost out on 60 science, which I'm personally very disappointed at. That could have gotten us 2 parts, I think. And if we would have gotten 2 parts, we could have been designing a pretty cool little lander to go to the moon and back. But, you know, that's fine. This will work just fine. So we'll recover this vessel. There we go. So we're at 165 science. We earned 102. We could have earned about 150. That's fine. All right, R&D. So advanced flight. This is a KV-3 pomegranate. What's this? It's a 3-person capsule. Does it have... See, the thing with these capsules, I'm just not impressed with its, it doesn't have any sort of reaction control. I'm just not impressed with those. So there's the MK1 lander can. Or I can get advanced construction. Oh, I don't know. We'll get the lander can. Alright, we're gonna spend the rest of this episode, I think, building out our lunar lander proper here. So for now, I think the Science Junior will have to go. It's too heavy. It's kind of a pain to get up and down. So on that note, what I want to do here, we could do, you know, a clampetron at the top right, and then build another one on top of that. We can grab a lander can, flip it upside down, and we can carry this on top of the rocket and do a proper lander. I don't really like that idea right now, still. And it basically comes down to, it's not a good streamlined look, and you know me, if it doesn't look good, then why would I build it? I know I could build things that are very functional and could get us a lot of science really quick, but I want form and function combined. So what I'm going to do is probably regret this. Yep, that's probably what I'll end up doing. So we're going to bring some couplers into space. We're going to move them down. Okay. And just basically right there attaching. And on these couplers, we will have a set of fuel tanks, a set of engines. Now, I know some of you are probably like, well, Uthris, why do you need so many engines? Well, that's because I'm insecure. We'll go ahead and, I know this actually doesn't look that great either. I could do that. Just to keep it in line. And then use 3 of these. Move them in, right? And then a decoupler. Where's our decoupler? Do I have any sort of structural? Wish I had a short structural version of this. How do I want to do this? I mean, I could in theory just use this to land, and then we just grab some couplers and, you know, do that. So I have like this simple 3-engine thing. Aerodynamics. I mean, that works. I mean, this could be considered a lander, and then we can grab a landing gear here. Let's move them. Down a few clicks so that okay, and 1, 2. So that there's some under clearance. We can start them retracted. Okay, and then in theory, simply plop that back on. Like, that works. That can get us onto the moon. Do need to put this back on here, though. And its decoupler back on here. Like, that's essentially all you need to get to the moon. In fact, might be a little overkill. It is heavier, but this boost setup did get us all the way to Minmus and back with a decent amount of fuel remaining. So it could, in theory, get us to where we want to go. I think that is gonna be next episode. We are gonna be landing on the moon next episode, guys, and hopefully you are excited as I am. The main goal for the series currently is to set up a moon base. Now there's a couple stages that we want to do before that. One, of course, get to the moon, land, become reliable to land on the moon many times. We'll probably have to build a Kerbal station here. Kind of just a refueling point, and then we will go ahead, probably launch a few satellites around Kerbal as well, so we can have constant communication. We'll then use the refueling point to either continue to launch satellites to the moon for a moon network, and then use the space station to start launching parts to the base, to the moon. So, you know, things will start ramping up in this series. It'll be less single stage, kind of just full missions entitled into one ship. It will be more of a multi-stage process. We'll have to think about how we want the base to actually sit together. We're gonna have to even scan Kerbin, or the moon eventually, to see what kind of resources it has and where we even want to set up the moon. Hence why we really want to find those things. When do you even get that? Scanning tech. So that's scanning module, survey, fluid spectro. Oh boy. Where's mining tech then? Unmanned tech, advanced automation, high performance fuel systems, nuclear. Ooh, I can't wait for nuclear. Yeah, there's still so much for us to. Actuators, grabbing units. That's fun. Where's like the mining? I know there is one. I just don't know where. The Rapier engine. Oh boy, that'll be crazy. Crazy stuff. Okay, that's it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are enjoying Kerbal Space Program, do subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Leave a like, a comment, and all that stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video.